I mentioned two things in the first episode of this new series of Airport CEO. Number one was that I wanted to make sure to send my workers home when they weren't doing anything, and thus far, I've not done that. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and dismiss. We currently have 155 contractors out. I'm going to dismiss 75 of them to bring that number way down, meaning we have 80 deployed. In fact, let's go down to 50 deployed. That way we'll save a little bit of money because not all of them are going to be just standing around in there. And we're not going to be doing crazy amounts of construction right away, so we don't really need all of them in the airport anyway. And at the minute, our goal isn't even to build anything. Our goal right now is to get to administrators, which we'll do in just a second. The other thing that I mentioned, and I don't know if I further expanded upon this in that first episode, but something I did mention was that I wanted to try and keep the terminal relatively small so that we could go up onto different floors. And I'm pretty sure we can't actually do that at the minute because we need to unlock the ability to do that. There are a bunch of new things for terminals. I believe passport control is one of them, and that's something we're going to need to unlock as well. There's also airline lounges right here, which is its own thing too. So there are some cool things that we can do. I just realized that I didn't explain in the first episode what some of those things were. On top of that, I also mentioned that I was probably going to sit and record about 3 or 4 episodes in one go. I didn't do that. Not that it matters. I'm still recording this episode before the first one has even gone out. But I just wanted to be honest with you and say that it's been about a day since I recorded that first episode because I went for a walk and that lasted about 2 hours. And then I got very tired and I went to bed. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and actually go ahead and hire some administrators. So we want to go into applicants and we're going to want to get ourselves some generic administrators. So Christian Mueller, we'll go with Mueller. We're going to get you and we'll go for, we could go for a CFO as well, but I'm not sure. I don't think you actually count as an administrator in this situation. So we'll get those 2 administrators. They're going to come in. That's going to be that particular part of the tutorial done. Next step is going to be researching a commercial license in the research and development section. So we have 2 administrators available. They are at work. An HR director is required to adjust shifts and working hours. That's fine. We're not going to worry too much about that. Let's just have a little look here and see. So we want a commercial license. We're going to want Jet A1 fuel. That's going to be for the commercial planes to get refueled. They use Jet A1 versus the avgas that I think the general aviation planes use. And then we could look at structural engineering, which is going to be concrete runway. Honestly, we don't really need that. Let's just go with a commercial license, which will then unlock things like, let's see here. So this will unlock commercial contracts. This will unlock the check-in desk, security checkpoint, security exit, boarding desk, and information stuff. We then get different employee types, and then we also get more R&D projects. So we're going to get medium aircraft permits, night flights, floor construction permit, which I think is going to get us access to build other floors. And then we can go for other things as well, such as shops and cafes. So we'll start that project. We'll go ahead and throw 2 administrators on there. I'm thinking we're actually going to hire another one because we can throw a 3rd administrator onto that project. That way it'll go at its sort of optimal speed, meaning that we can hopefully get it done sooner than later. And you can see there the administrators are in using those desks that we have, so we should be okay. It shouldn't take too long for this to get done. It did say it'd be 3 hours, which is just 3 hours of in-game time, so that's not really a huge deal whatsoever. I am realizing, though, that I'm gonna have to change the way my taxiways are done here, potentially, to accommodate for commercial flights. We might have to change things up a little bit. This layout might not be ideal, but that's all right. I'll figure out a way to make it work. For the time being, it's not a huge deal. We're still making a little bit of money off of the GA flights, so it's whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this finished so we can start looking at getting some commercial flights in here. Okay, the commercial license has been acquired, which then unlocked a whole bunch of other things as well, as we knew it would. I'm not too interested in going for franchise cafes and all that stuff, so we're not going to worry too much about that. We do need a strategy director before we can get it. The floor construction permit, I'm very tempted to go for, because it would mean we can immediately start going in for the... what's the word I'm looking for? We can immediately start going in for the second floors. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word second there. I'm also tempted, though, to go for remote stand services, because it means that we can operate this airport sending out little buses to the current stands that we have, rather than going ahead and having to build a bunch of new stands for small commercial aircraft. So I think what we might do, we don't really need the extended commercial license. We don't need the medium aircraft permit. We probably do want Jet A1 fuel, and it's actually going to take an hour to do that. So let's go ahead and get that, because it means we can go ahead and refuel any commercial planes that come in, and we can read this tutorial bit whilst we're waiting. So when the outside is built, we should focus on the inside. Passengers will enter the terminal where they can check into the flights. They must pass a security checkpoint in order to enter the secure perimeter of the terminal. Once the flight arrives, they will go to the aircraft via a boarding desk. Passengers arriving at your airport must pass a security exit before they can leave the terminal and claim any bags. So our next goal is going to be place at least 2 small check-in desks, which we can absolutely do. We've also got this project done, so that's fantastic. Honestly, I think we're gonna go for the floor construction permit. It is gonna take 12 hours, but I kind of like the idea that passengers will check in to the airport, go upstairs through whatever becomes, you know, duty-free, and security can be upstairs as well, meaning we can keep the terminal quite small. So if we have a little look here, I'm not really sure if we've unlocked anything else in this area. Well, we did, yeah, the Jet A1 fuel. So if we have a look, we could throw some small aircraft stands up here. That is totally something we could do, and it's kind of tempting to do that. We could throw them on the side here as well, if we really wanted to, and then have people sort of go up into security, then back down into a different area, I suppose, where they can get to the flights. Again, it's slightly tempting to do that, and maybe that is what we should do. So I'll tell you what, these are 20,000. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. So that gives us 10 stands, which is fantastic news. We're probably going to want to go in and say that I don't want to keep pausing the game while I do this. We're probably going to want to go in and say that the service road here needs to go. Service roads do need to be there and there. And I'm thinking I could probably get away with a little cheeky vehicle checkpoint here, potentially. So something like there, perhaps, and then sort of loop it back. So let's give that a shot. What is this? You have more than one vehicle checkpoint accessing the airport. Make sure that they're connected to each other via a service road. They absolutely will be. So we want to go to here and do that. And that way vehicles can get in that way, which I think I've got that the right way around. I am not actually certain. I'm pretty sure I've got it the right way around. They are going to be connected to each other, so it's going to be all right. Those corners are connected, and what we can do is basically bring this over and connect it up here, is what I'm thinking. So we just do something like that. It's going to be a little bit messy with taxiways and stuff like that, but that's not really going to be the end of the world. We can make it work. It's totally fine. We've still got enough money as well right now, so I think we'll be all right. We'll let this all get built though. And I guess actually what we could do is we can throw some information desks in, flight info displays, boarding desks, etc. So check-in desks right... Is this... Oh, that's new. That's new. I've not seen this before. This is actually... Okay, it's a small check-in desk. Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go into here. Let's go to walls. And let's say that we're gonna go 23. And we're gonna go 23. We're gonna go maybe another 8 on each end. And then we're gonna go across. So something like that. We could probably extend this staff room down a little bit. Maybe. Maybe not. It is technically... Oh, it's also got zones listed, which is kind of cool. I think that'll be our check-in area, though. Is what that can be. Meaning everyone's going to need to go upstairs through security, but that's kind of all right. There's also walk-a-lators. Interesting. Oh, I like that a lot. I do, and I can put it like right there and let people get back and forth across the airport really easily. I love these things. There's one of these in... I know I keep talking about Copenhagen Airport every time I do something airport related in any game, but there's one of these in Copenhagen Airport that I really love. Anyway, what I'm thinking we can do here is go to security and throw a security exit, say here, and throw another one on that side. That might be kind of interesting. So let's do secure zones all the way up here. Let's do a secure zone all the way here. Let's go across here. That staff room is unfortunately going to have to be in a secure zone, which is probably not going to be ideal for it, but that's just the way it's going to be. So that's going to be a secure zone. Security exit then goes... I kind of want it down a little bit, so let's bring the secure zone down to there and across to there. We'll throw the security exit there, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure if that is where I want to put it, but we'll do it there. And we'll do there, and we'll just bring some walls across so that it is actually sort of secure. So something like this and something like that should be totally fine. We'll do the same on this side to kind of box it in a little bit. And that's going to be... So those doors are going to be the ways out. These are going to be the ways in. Both of the exits should get used, which is fantastic news. And I guess what we do at this point is just throw in some check-in desks. So we want the small one, and I kind of want them to be evenly spaced. So I'm thinking there, and I'm thinking there. We can put some queues on these as well, and I'm thinking we'll kind of just leave them with a gap of 2 between each of them, which I think is roughly the size that check-in desks have when you use the large ones, which I'm kind of more used to. But we'll do a bunch of them there. We'll not do that. We'll do a couple more at each end as well. I'm not going to bother boxing them in like crazy right now. I don't think there's much point in that, but I will throw in a bunch of these benches, I guess. So we'll do there, we'll do there, and we'll do there. And I guess we could sort of stack these a little bit like that as well. And I think we could go a little bit further with these. That way, if there's a bunch of flights, which there's not gonna be, we don't actually need, you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 different stands. How many check-in desks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1 and 2 can be gotten rid of. That way, there's one check-in desk for each of the stands. And then being small flights, we probably don't even need that many. But that'll be okay. That's going to be the check-in area. We can also throw some flight info displays into this space as well, which I'm kind of keen to do. So we'll do that. We could throw some flight info displays behind the check-in desks as well. That way, there's plenty of information about your flights. We could even throw maybe a little... Well, you know what? We're not going to do information desks right now. We'll just let all that get built. We might not want to say that this entire thing is a security area right now, but we'll figure it out. Because if it's a security area, my workers need to be able to get back there. Although, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll just get it built, and I guess we kind of just need to wait for this to get done so we can put some stairs in so people can go upstairs into security and then back downstairs into the departures area. I think that's going to be a good way to do things. We're kind of just going to have to wait and see. Okay, all of the construction, barring like 3 little bits, is finished. which is fantastic news. It means we can go in and we can throw in the taxiway paths for absolutely everything, which is going to come up this way. It's going to cross over that service road. It's going to come over this way, going straight down to there. We can go ahead and we can connect up all of these stands. These are already set up to be commercial stands as well, so we haven't got any general aviation that's going to be coming into this part of the airport. General aviation can still use these stands over here, so we're still going to see a little bit of money coming in off of general aviation. Well, this is interesting. It says it's missing a taxiway path to a runway supporting small aircraft. That's a bit weird to me, because looking at it, we do in fact have a taxiway that leads over to here and does in fact connect to the runway. So I'm not really sure why it's telling me that. That's a bit weird. I'm pretty sure the taxiway is fine. So yeah, that's a little bit strange. Is what that certainly is. But that's all right. I'm sure it'll fix itself at some point or other. The good news is we do, in fact, have the means to get escalators and stairs and elevators that can go ahead and bring people through the terminal. So what I'm thinking we do is we go upstairs. I'm thinking we go in and look at foundations. And I'm thinking what we do is we go from here to there, and I'm gonna need to space this out perfectly. I'm thinking we actually go a little bit bigger. I think we do this. This is gonna be the size of the upstairs part of the airport. And I think what we do is we go ahead and we say that we want escalators, and I'm thinking we're gonna want escalators there, and I'm thinking we're gonna want them there. So right in that corner. I would like to put some elevators in, but they are $25,000, which is a little bit much. So we'll stick with the escalators. That's going to bring people up into this space. That's going to bring them around into some kind of security space. Now let me see here. This is 54 across, so the midpoint would be 27. So let's go. Let's see here. 23 is there, so let me put a dot there. 23 is there, so put a dot there. What I'm thinking we do is we want to sort of isolate some of this space a little bit. So bring that down. We can go ahead and do escalator. Let me see. Ooh, that is not actually going to work, is it? I was hoping to get an escalator just out there, but I think we're going to have to extend the foundation a little bit. So we extend the foundation that way. We take out this. And then what I want to do is throw an escalator. Cannot cross different zones. That's fine. We want that to be a secure zone anyway. So this bit is going to be secure. We then want to go down. We want to go back into escalators. And essentially, we want the escalators to be there, and we want an escalator to be right there. That way you come up these ones into, I guess, this kind of space, right? So that's kind of, so you, what way are we going to do this? I think what I want is you come up these escalators, you are then forced to go, we're going to have some sort of empty space here, I guess. So we'll do that, is what we'll do. You come around, and then security is going to be, I guess, something like this. So you come all the way down here, and then you get dumped out into a big old security area right here in the middle, which I guess could work, right? So you come up the escalator, you come over here, we could maybe do something in this space, maybe do something in that space, and then you've got your security space here. And what we do is we throw a nice large door, maybe, yeah, right in the middle, right? We'll throw a nice large door down there and a nice large door right there. So you come up the escalators into security. Security then dumps you out into this space. You go back down the escalators into the departure area. That seems a little bit more complex. I don't want to say complex because it's not complex. It definitely seems a little bit more, hands-on than perhaps it needs to be, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and extend a nice secure zone to about there. And let's go ahead and throw some security checkpoints into it as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, I guess, will do the job. We probably don't need one for each of the stands anyway. Honestly, we could probably get away with 6 of them if I really wanted to, which I kind of feel like I want to. We'll give it a shot and see how that plays out. And then we'll just throw some walls in between all of these as well. So you go through the security checkpoints and you get into this kind of space back here. We could honestly probably extend some walls down here as well to kind of keep them a little bit further divided. You know, maybe make it a little bit more imposing on the other side. That's completely unnecessary, but it'll help filter things a little bit, which is kind of what I'm wanting to do. Looking at it, we could even throw windows on there if we really wanted to. Not that I particularly want to, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It just won't really do any harm, will it? We could even throw some nice large windows onto the front right here if we really wanted to. So 1 and 2, you can look out from security to the rest of the airport. Again, completely unnecessary. Don't need to do that, but why not? We'll throw some windows down here as well, just to make it kind of nice. So we'll let all that get built, and then we should actually have a proper secure zone. We're probably going to want to throw some queues in there and all that stuff, but we'll let it get built. Hopefully these guys end up kind of working out. We do, of course, need to connect. So let's see here. You're going to be connected to that stand. You're going to be connected to that stand. You to that one. You're going out to that one. You're going out to there. And then we'll go the whole way around, just connecting all of these up. Hopefully we can connect up get the security checkpoints working really nicely as well. I've not been paying attention to what the tutorial wants me to do either. What does it want me to do? Open my runway for commercial use. That's probably why. These guys have been complaining. Yeah, it is. So there we go. That's actually ready to go. I think we're now open to commercial flights. I'm not 100% sure. Operations, we might be. We're not doing Jet A1 fuel right now though, and I realize we've not been researching anything either. So let's have a look at, I want to say night flights. And we're also going to need to start hiring some staff here because, well, obviously. So we're going to need 4 passenger service agents. We're going to need more than that, to be totally honest, but that's all right. Good news is this is all going ahead, so that's fantastic. The security checkpoint is not operated. That's all right. Let's just build some queues straight out here. These are small checkpoints. I don't think we're going to need huge queues whatsoever. And in the era of social distancing, this actually does look like it might function, you know? 2 meters apart and all that stuff. So, whatever. I mean, it's an airport. Terrible idea to go through an airport in the middle of what's going on in the world right now, but that's fine. Anyway, let's go in here. Let's go to staff. Let's look at applicants. We are going to want passenger service agents. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are going to want janitors, 1 and 2. We are going to want ramp agents, 1 and 2. We are going to want security officers, 1 and 2 and 3. And service technicians as well, 1 and 2. Service technicians are basically your mechanics, so they will keep everything actually working is what they will do. And I'm also thinking what we're going to do is say passengers may not go through that checkpoint, staff may not go through any of the other checkpoints. So there is a dedicated staff checkpoint is what there's going to be. And this should function at this point. We should actually be able to bring in some good stuff here. Let me go ahead though and grab another passenger service agent. Let me grab another ramp agent, and let me grab another 2 security officers just so we can keep everything running as well as possible. Who are you? Okay, so you're an employee. That's all right. But that should be pretty solid for us. I am thinking we are going to want to throw a little medium door on there and on there for anyone that happens to get stuck. But we should see, there we go, our staff are moving through into the secure zones. This is open. You know what I realize we don't have? Hire 4 ramp agents. Have we not done that yet? I think we might only have 3. Let's hire you. There we go. Enable ramp agent service. Okay, so that needs to be here. which is good. Next step is going to be accept an airline master contract. Okay, so that's what I was looking for, is if we go into economy and offered contracts and we go to airlines, we have a bunch of airlines that are wanting to fly to the airport. So I'm thinking we're going to accept a few. We're going to get Fly Penguin. We're going to get Goose Wings. We are going to go for Maple Express. And you know what? I think we're just going to go for all of them so we can bring in as many different flights to as many different locations as we possibly can. So Edwards Bay, Stripe Air Regional. There we go. So we have all of these contracts. If I bring up our flight planner, we unfortunately can't do the auto planner. We need a chief operations officer and a chief, I assume, intelligence officer? Or chief information officer? I'm not really sure which one, which means we then need to go back into staff. We need to go to applicants. We need to go to executives, and we needed a chief, a COO, and we needed a CIO as well. So having done that, can we go back in here and auto plan? We absolutely can. So there we go. We have flights coming in on Friday. We're not going to be refueling any of them, unfortunately, but we have a little bit of money. So I think we could probably go ahead and say a small Jet A1 depot right there. We could go in and say vehicles. We're going to want, let's see. We actually, do we not have, that's owned vehicles. Never mind. We're going to want a few of these. So let's grab 5 of the Jet A1 vehicles. That way we can offer aircraft refueling at some point anyway. Yeah, so once we get the depot and the trucks, we can actually offer to refuel some of the aircraft as well. I'm also realizing we probably want some seats in here. So let's go and do, let's see, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then over this way, what we can do is 1, 2. I guess we could double this one up a little bit, perhaps, or maybe do something like that. I think that's what we'll do, actually, was we'll just kind of have it be that kind of angle going on there. This one can go here, this one can go here, and that's going to give every one of the boarding desks some seats to play with as well. We actually do have passengers coming in to sit down, which is fantastic. We're going to need more passenger service agents as well. Basically, we're going to need more of kind of everything. So more ramp agents are going to be needed too. I'm going to start hiring some that aren't quite as good as I would like. We can train them up a little bit. And then we should be okay. Security officers as well. We'll grab a couple more. We should be good. We should have a functional airport here. I'm thinking that once the chairs go into the departure lounge, we can go ahead and send all of the builders home. And then we can sincerely hope that we're going to see some good things here. That's kind of what we're going for. Our first flight is due to land. They are all very close together. They are all very close together. Let's spread them out a little bit further. Let's go for 45 minutes between the flights. Although that's not going to change for a little bit. But we'll go for 45 minutes between the flights. And that should make things a little easier. In fact, we can only have 25 flights in a day. We could spread them out by like an hour, I'm thinking. And at some point that'll, you know, mean that we have more, you know, the airport's not going to be empty just because it's, you know, after midday. Anyway, looks like my builders are done. So let's go ahead and say contractors all go home. And then we have people heading up into security, which is brilliant news. They're getting through at a decent little pace there. They're moving into wherever they need to go. They're heading off to sit down, which is good. So basically, we have a functional airport, which is kind of a big deal. I just doubt it's actually going to make any money because I probably shouldn't have hired executives this early on, but that's fine. I probably shouldn't have tried to go with a 2-story airport this early on, but again, that's probably fine. There's our first commercial flight. Look at that. Let's go ahead and enable, where is it? Jet A1 refueling service. These guys are coming in. They're heading out. I'm hoping we're going to make some money. There's another one. So these guys are going to head out that way. Again, I'm hoping we're going to make some money. I'm actually kind of excited. I'm really, really excited to see if we can turn a profit here. Because if we can't, it's going to be a really short series. It's going to be a real short series.